just on that, no time to celebrate. Why is it so important to get them back in?
Well, they did celebrate, but I think leading into a tournament, you generally do a little bit of deloading, and then you're into a tournament. So, in order to give them some time off, it's important that we get a lift in and then just a little bit of load, which then allows them to relax and really switch off before they come back in Tuesday ready to go.
And as you said, we saw them all up and about, like they're high energy, high spirits. Does it show the dedication that they're all happy to come in here and just go straight to the gym from the plane?
It does. Like they've matured a lot, and they do love each other's company, and they know that doing the work is going to give you the reward. So it's not hard to do when you know what the return on investment is going to be. But I think winning does help when you come back off a trip and you're in there. It probably gets the adrenaline levels going a little bit more than a loss does.
Tim, obviously in the Olympic Village, it's so important to have that really good vibe in the camp. They're bouncing around to techno music after a 30-hour flight. What sets this team apart in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of other teams you've coached?
Yeah, look, I think when you go to the Olympics, the biggest debilitator is probably your inability to concentrate and stay in your what we call performance bubble. So that's a lot of the mental skill stuff that we're sort of working on, is that how can we focus on the job at hand and live in the moment. And they can get around each other and have certain tactics around that, but it's certainly an important focus point for us in how we can walk into a village or walk into any situation and not be affected by the noise. So whether it be music or games or meditation or whatever it is, but for them to figure that out and learn what is best for them to be able to perform no matter what the situation is.
Well, how do you strike a balance? So, for example, is it like a selfie ban with other athletes, or because you need to let their young athletes as well? Like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, well, I think your culture has to be reflective of your environment, and young women. Incredible athletes travelling around the world, so we're going to make the most of that. But that ability is, okay, now it's time to work, or in order for you to get the best out of your training session now, you have to do this and this to do it. And we can plan that through our week, through our year, and go, okay, these periods of time is when we're going to do something that's going to be very cultural and fun and different, and even leading up to micro planning within that week. So every country we go to, we try and do something that's a shared experience. It's not a big toll on the legs or the sun or whatever it is, but we do something in there that takes us away from rugby and lets us enjoy what this game's all about, but each other in an experience that you wouldn't be able to do in Sydney.
Tim, you must feel pretty buoyed, obviously, after the win in Madrid, but that semi-final specifically, to win against the Kiwis in that nature, I guess does it give you a bit more confidence as well, knowing that you can do that turnaround?
It does, yeah. I mean, nearly all our games with New Zealand are sort of ding-dong battles, but our previous weak points was probably our restart and restart reception, and we won every single one of those. But then our attack was actually pretty ordinary, and our defence was quite low as well. So I think we had a lot of possession. Like, we probably didn't deserve to win that game, but the thing is with sevens, you can play really, really well and lose, or you can play pretty ordinary and win. And that's our ability to be resilient or to find a way to win. And when you're losing 19-7 with 90 seconds to go and come back and win, I think that it's a defining moment for the team that they can do that. And there's been a lot of moments, I think, throughout the season where we've done that with USA, the French. A lot of times we've won those critical moments, and that's another thing we've been working really, really hard on. And within sevens, out of your weekend, if there is 6 games, this one was obviously 5, but generally 2 or 3 of those games will come down to the last play. And that's the difference between podium and not. And so far, I think they've held their nerve at the most of the times to make sure we are on the podium, which has given us the results. And it's sort of bookended our season too. We hit Dubai as an Olympic practice, and we hit Madrid as Olympic practice, and we've got to take a lot of confidence out of that.
This series you've dealt with a lot of injuries, Matt and Willie both going down with ACLs. How sort of pleased you've been with people like Tia Hines stepping up the sort of conversion? Younger girls like your Bridges, your Ruby Nichols as well, who've been thrown into a 7 circuit and shown they can go on.
Yeah, look, extremely proud. Yeah, and a like to say, not unexpected either. Like we plan for injuries because it's a pretty brutal sport. It does happen. Change of direction, contact, fatigue. So having a management team and an organisation that has a good planning system, that if someone goes down, we have the confidence that someone else will step up and do the job. It's obviously shattering and an emotional hit for everybody, particularly when they're players that have just put in so much time and effort over a period of time, and now they're going to miss the Olympics. But that's the strength of the program, is that they can come in and do a job. And you mentioned Tia there, like she's had a really good season, but to then step up and basically be that primary ball player and kicker, and she did it in a fashion that was pretty world class.
So you've got a now an Olympic squad down the next couple of weeks. In terms of, you've been around the program for a while, is this the toughest sort of selection headache you're going to have in trying to get that name? So I think it's 12 and 2 reserves you're going to take over Paris.
Yeah, I mean it's a good headache, and it's credit to the program. But you think when you're building over a period of time, and what goes into winning an Olympic medal, there's a lot of consistency and core combinations that go into that. So in reality, it's probably squeezing 5 players into 2 or 3, which is going to be the long discussions around the table. But we have a very strong selection system and governance that makes sure it does come out in the right way and what's best for the team. And that's what we are, team first.
Tim, you guys are front runners for the gold. How do you manage those high expectations?
I think we thrive on that. I think, I like the label front runners because it means we're winning. But I think if you go into it as, Australia, New Zealand, every time it's like, winning, one off, it's so close. And then you got the French in Paris, and if it all goes to plan, I think, New Zealand are actually going in as number 1. But you go into Paris, we might get France in a semi. So that's just going to be incredible. 60,000 French cheering for them. But look, we're just game by game, whoever our opposition is, moment by moment, that's what we're going to focus on. And then when it comes to it, then the final, then we focus on that. And if it is New Zealand, then we focus on them.
They're a bit of a rugby powerhouse, that nation. What's the key to locking them down?
There's lots of little tactics, but strategically, I think it's more about how we do our job. I think we know each other's game pretty well. We know each other's strengths, so it's a bit of the art of war. It's trying to nullify them and then expose ours, and then maybe a little bit of a mental battle there as well. But there's a bit of banter going on, I think, in that last day as well. So I think holding the nerve and staying focused on our job, and the outcome, cliche, but the outcome will take care of itself.
You've been obviously involved in the men's sevens, women's. Just behind us, you can see the 2016 Olympic win. What do you think, as somebody who's been involved in both men's and women's, what can a gold medal do for this sport? Obviously, it's got its challenges. What can that do to inspire the next young generation?
Yeah, it's a game changer. I think I look at, I was watching this wonderful documentary, was it 84 Seoul, was it? 88, yeah, when the Dream Team, American Dream Team, like NBA was big in America. They took the Dream Team to the Olympics, and it just out of control. It transcended cultures, it exposed the basketball and superstars to the world. And there was a small impact of 2016. I reckon that team changed the shape of women's contact sport by the way they played it, the way they behaved. It was just an enlightening and incredible moment, which has then, I think, been the catalyst to NRLW, AFLW, the state of origins, the sevens programs, the 15s. It's just growing. So the impact that can have, both on the men and women, because you're on the world stage and you can actually see the game in its purity. There's time and space and contact and brutality and poetry. It's all there to showcase rugby and sevens, which I think is the purest form of the game.